Don has a real heart for the Lord. It starts with evangelism, where he gets that trumpet out and he just calls people to him, and it's hard to ignore. He doesn't need a amplifier with that trumpet, and he just calls people with that. And then there's a message of the Lord given. And beyond evangelism, Don's heart for the Lord is really shown through his love for the children and the widows in places that we would call third world countries, where they really are underprivileged, building either orphanages, children's homes, and widows' homes, taking kids off the street, showing the love of God to those children and to the widows, people that don't have anybody else. So Don's just got a real love for the Lord in both evangelism and tending to the poor, underprivileged, and widows and orphans. The Lord has been very good to my wife and I, Carol, and now that we are in retirement, we have no excuse to not have time to do things for the Lord. So we have, because Don has been one of the international ministries that we really support through a church and individually, that it's been just in line with our calling, I think, to follow Don and his wife Kathy along as they've ministered throughout the world. So far, Haiti, Roatan, perhaps other places in the future. One of the orphanages that Don is a major supporter and contributor on board of the directors is in Roatan, Honduras. It's an island just off the coast of Honduras. I've been blessed to be with Don's teams on 3 different occasions down there, and that particular children's home has 18 to 20 children in it, full-time director, Orsi Cruz and his wife, and their 2 children live there on site. And I think the first trip I made with Don there, we actually remodeled part of one of the 2 buildings on site, and a school started the next week. So the children there now have a private school, which includes English language class and Christian education. So it's a very nice place for the children to live at, and I think the island looks up to them. So if they have a child that has no place to go that they pick up off the streets, one of the first places it's considered is actually the Greenfields Children's Home there in the island of Roatan. And it's a pretty well established facility. It's been there for, 10 years or more now. And I've often looked at it as a model of where Don's going in Haiti, where it'll have its own facility, its own school, and things of that nature. But Roatan is another challenge. It's not quite the poverty that you see in Haiti, but still a lot of orphans, and a lot of people out of work, and a lot of need to spread the word of the Lord. Discipleship for us is to really go out and to share the love and the word of the Lord's word with those that haven't heard it. And I think Don does a really good job of that. And even though we don't learn the languages a lot when we go places, and which was always a fear for me, we've been able to go beyond that. And I think as we bring people into the love of the Lord in discipleship, one of the ways we do that is through music. Don starts out with his trumpet. My wife, Carol, has accompanied us on our 2nd and 3rd trips with Don to Haiti. And on that, my wife's a music teacher, so she takes the flute along, and music just transcends the boundaries of language. So even though the children oftentimes can't understand everything we say, and we don't often know very many words in Haitian Creole, for instance, music just transcends that. So she can sit down and have half a dozen, 10 children just playing the flute and learning about the Lord through music. We sponsor a number of things for fundraising, for instance, which those funds are directed to Don, in our case, to Haiti. There's a very large craft fair in the fall. We just had that in October, where we open up our church to crafters, and all the proceeds from that that we make go to the Haiti orphanage. In mid-June, we have a very large garage sale, if you will, on our church property, and that can bring in upwards of $15,000, for instance, on a given year. And that's funneled into the Haiti orphanage. There's opportunities to actually go on mission trips with Don. Haiti, Africa, Roatan, mission cruises, India, which I've not yet been on. There's prayer support. I think has been mentioned earlier. You can interface with Don on Facebook, his web page, get involved with individual contributions through picking up for support of individual children. Any one of those locations, Haiti, Roatan, India. just many opportunities, or you can sign up and go on a mission trip, which I think is a life-changing experience, to where you can not only become be a disciple, evangelize for the Lord, but you'll also improve the lifestyle, because building widows' homes where people are living in tents or on the street, or children have no homes, they're living in tents, and you can put them into a loving Christian environment to where they can hear and feel the love of the Lord every day, and they can be educated, and they can have a warm home, a roof over their head every night. I've been a born-again Christian throughout most of my life, and I just feel that at this point in life, particularly in retirement, there's really not an excuse to where you can't do things like this. And the Lord's been tugging at my heart for a long time. I have a fear of languages. I don't do well with that, but as we've spoken here, that hasn't been an issue. The way Don sets up his mission trips, we've been able to help in many ways without having to actually learn the native language. And I think the Lord calls each of us to share in His work to whatever abilities and gifts we're given. And, I'm not the best carpenter or the best plumber or the best electrician, but I can do some of each. And Don uses those talents to help put together the orphanages, to build widows' homes. And each of us share in a different way. My wife does music, I do maintenance and help with carpentry and plumbing and things of that nature. And just loving the children, the people, the staff that's in these countries. Give them a warm hug, a smile, friendly smile, taking them out to a restaurant which sometimes they've never been to in their whole life. In many, many ways you can help. I think Don has been one of the people that I admire in the sense that he has such a love for the Lord, a desire to be an evangelist, to spread the Lord's word, and yet also as he goes to these places to also help improve the lives of these people. Because once you're into a country such as Haiti, where I'm most familiar with, the widespread poverty and unemployment is just so great that you really have to have your Bible in your one hand and a hammer in the other hand, because you really need to be down there to help these people improve their livelihood. I think Don has the right balance between evangelism and actually helping the people in their daily needs, and I really appreciate that in him, and just felt very comfortable and very blessed to be able to follow him.
If you know of a ministry that we need to know about, please give us a call, 888-641-8606, or take a look at our website, revelationstv.org.